while I wait for this. Okay. If you can meet me in Canvas, we're going to be doing most of our work in Canvas today. Okay. So we said, how do we form this present progressive? Well, we got to have a form of a star. So now let's look at the second part, which is that present participle or that gerundio, right? The gerund. Again, just words that we need in class. They're not important, just so that we know, you know, kind of what we're talking about. And so I have just a short a short video, but again, I need you to make sure that you can hear and that you can see. So we'll focus on the second part. First part is the form of the star. Here's the second part, okay?
Hola, clase. Take a second to think about your answer to this question. ¿Qué haces en este momento? What came to mind? I'm thinking about lunch. I'm finishing.
Okay, so she said, I'm going to pause this. I don't know if y'all can hear it or not. She says, ¿Qué estás haciendo en este momento? And I'm putting it in the chat, okay? All right, so check the chat, por favor. ¿Qué estás? Right, I forgot my accent mark. So what do you think that question is asking? ¿Qué estás haciendo en este momento? What do you think? Make a guess, you guys. You can unmute. There's only three of us here. What do you think she's asking?
What are you doing in the moment?
Yeah, what are you doing in this moment, right? What are you doing right now? We would probably say, right? Exactly, because remember, that's the whole point of this present progressive, right? It's what we are actually doing as we speak. And we compared it the other day, right, on Monday. Okay, so let's see what she says. Can y'all hear her okay? Because somehow I just can't very well. Okay, here we go.
My homework before Ms. Lopez collects it. So, what do these responses have in common? First, they talk about something that is going on right now, at this moment. They also use the English verb to be and a second verb ending in ing, which is the form we call in English the present participle. Well, guess what? Spanish has a similar construction called el presente continuo that uses the verb estar and a form of the main verb that ends in ndo, called el gerundio. Let's look at some of the answers to my original question. Estoy pensando en el almuerzo. Estoy escribiendo la tarea.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it here. So I'm thinking about lunch, right? But notice, you guys, that our verb here is pensar, right? To think. We saw it in our Mario story, if you guys remember Mario from earlier. So estoy pensando, it's an AR verb. We get rid of the AR and we add ando, right? This one, estoy escribiendo la tarea. I'm writing the homework. Now in Spanish, they don't say I'm doing homework. They say I'm writing homework, okay? So escribir is an IR verb. Drop the IR, okay? And we add yendo, right? IENDO, okay?
Do you see the pattern? Each sentence has a form of the verb estar and the NDO form of the verb that conveys the action. Los gerundios are pretty easy to form. You start with the infinitive and then drop the AR, ER, or IR ending. For AR verbs, add the ending ando. For ER and IR verbs, add the ending yendo. Escuchar, escuchando. ver, viendo. Escribir, escribiendo. AR and ER verbs that have a vowel change in the present tense do not have that change in el gerundio. Comenzar, comenzando. Volver, volviendo. E to I stem changing IR verbs, however, do change the stem vowel from an E to an I in el gerundio. Sirviendo, pidiendo, diciendo, vistiendo, compitiendo. Now, to talk about an action that is currently happening, you just pair up a present tense form of estar with the gerundio of the verb. ¿Qué estás haciendo ahora? Tere y yo estamos viendo una película. Las chicas se están vistiendo para ir a una fiesta. In this last example, you see one way to form el presente continuo with a reflexive verb. Se están vistiendo. You can place the reflexive pronoun se before the conjugated verb estar, or you can attach it to the end of el gerundio. Están vistiéndose.
Okay, so remember, you guys, this is those reflexive actions. In other words, things that reflect back on ourselves that we do to ourselves. So in this case, they are getting dressed, right? They're dressing themselves. But if I was saying I'm dressing myself, it would be me, right? We changed that, me. Remember those, you guys? So me estoy vistiendo, I'm getting dressed, or I'm dressing myself. Or estoy vistiéndome, right? So remember that reflexive pronoun is not always going to be say. It depends on who is doing that action to themselves. Okay, remember we did like brushing hair, brushing teeth, those kinds of things. Okay.
You'll need to add an accent over the participle ending if you do it this way. Another example of this: Pepe se está lavando las manos. Pepe está lavándose las manos. Atención! You do not use el presente continuo to express future plans or actions in Spanish. For that, you use the construction with ir plus a plus infinitive.
Okay, so the ir a plus infinitive is the one that we just practiced, that near future formula that I asked you guys to do the little storybook on, right? To say that you're going to play video games, you're going to eat at the restaurant, right? Things that you're going to do in the near future. The one that we're looking at now is when the action is currently in progress, when it is what you're doing at the moment.
As in, Elisa is watching television tonight. Elisa va a ver la televisión esta noche. And for the student or students who answered my initial question with, I'm finishing my homework before Ms. Lopez collects it, well, your time is up.
Okay. All right. Any questions there, you guys? Just simple reminders, all things that we've already talked about, things we've already looked at. Anybody? Preguntas? Okay. So here's what I would like for you to do. Let me get my computer over there, and then we can go ahead and start. I'm waiting. Sorry, you guys. Go. All right. So we are still in Unit 6, right? I'm going to share my screen so you know where I'm looking. And we're in Desafío número 3. Okay. Somehow, and I don't know what works best for you guys, I have a visual guide here and a how to form. So if you were to click on this first one, we have all of the slides that we looked at the other day, okay? And in the slides, you have all of the regular AR verb, ER, IR. You also have those irregulars right here, okay? The ones that take a different spelling, like layer and oir, and then what to do if it's got a reflexive pronoun. So all of that is in this particular slide, I guess, in the module. Okay, so you can use that. If we go to the visual guide, it's just a larger version of all those irregular ones, or it has up here, like if it's a regular AR verb, if it's an ER verb, or it's an IR verb. So whichever like resource you choose to use, there it is for you, whichever you like. Okay. All right. So just bear with me. I want to go through these. I want to go through the instructions, Jojo, right? So that I can turn y'all loose and you can do whatever you want. So this says, read the following and use the formula provided to help you complete the practice, right? The presente continuo tells what someone is doing right now. Accents here are required, right? So I have put here, you guys, the form of estar plus then how you form that gerundio, how you form that present participle, okay? Now, here are the ones that are like the odd ones, right? The irregulars. So you can use this as a guide, or you can, what's the word I need? Use the other stuff, okay? I'm still not in student. I guess it took me out of student. Hold on. There we go. Okay. So if you click on your annotation, again, I don't want you to work on anything just now. I need just go through the instructions with you. This is just a basic kind of worksheet thing. Okay, Jojo, you with me? You're going to use your text box tool. In the first blank, you're going to put the form of estar with the accent marks now that you have that capability. In the second box, you're going to put the correct, or second line, you're going to put the correct present participle. So that's pretty self-explanatory, okay? Let's see if this will let me do this. All right. I also added this. You guys remember that when you click on this in VHL, it gives you 1 point. And so those are freebie points. They can add up to like 5 points, which sometimes makes a big difference. Okay, so don't ignore the presentación. The next one is ¿qué están haciendo? And I put that, it's the same question that's in the chat. Okay, look at the following pictures, fill in the blanks using the present progressive, right? You don't even really need to know what these mean. You just need to know if they're an AR or an ER verb, if they're regular or not. You're just gonna fill this in. So she's at a computer, right? She's obviously sending or writing an email. So you would put your correct form of estar that goes with yo, and then you would create your past participle. Okay, any questions there? Stop me if you have a question. You guys just unmute. Okay, be faster. The next one is a speaking. Okay, so this is where I really need your attention. Listen to the questions as many times as you need. Respond in Spanish as though someone is asking you the question, right? So you're going to talk about yourself, which means you're going to use estoy something, something, right? So for example, if you hear estás caminando en el parque, are you walking in the park? You could either say, sí, estoy caminando en el parque, or no, no estoy caminando en el parque, excuse me. So the purpose of this is just to practice your speaking, to get more comfortable with it, right? And also because it is like the most common thing used, and you're going to be talking about yourself most of the time, it's important that we get comfortable with saying, I am doing something. Okay. All right. Any questions there? So you would click, it's not a quiz, but you would click on this. There's 3 questions. You can listen to them again as many times as you need. Okay. And then do y'all know how to record in here? Do y'all know how to record your answers? No. Okay. So what you would do is come down here. Okay. Brooke, Jojo, do you know how to record in here? Okay. So let's try and do this together then. So you're going to click on insert. Okay. And you're going to click on media. Record. Okay. Then you're going to come up here and it's either if you record it on your computer, then you can attach the file. The easier thing to do is just come up here and click record. Make sure your microphone and everything is on. Okay, you can turn the webcam off, but you see it hears me already, right? So if I want to record, make sure my mic is on and I just hit record and then it'll allow me to save it and it'll automatically embed it in the response. Okay, you guys? Okay, so again, insert media, upload, make sure your thing is turned on. And then when you come here, record. Right? When you're ready, you start recording, then it'll ask you to save it and then it'll embed that. And then when you're finished, of course, you're going to submit just like you do anything else. Okay. All right. So any questions here? Now, the other thing I want you to notice on this one, you guys, is the due date. Okay. I gave you like some extra time on the due date, just in case we have like tech issues or something like that. But don't let it go too long because you want to do these things while they're fresh in your mind. Okay. All right. Any questions about the speaking? Okay. There's one more. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's see if it'll let me go back. Oh, that's not what I keep hitting the wrong button, don't I? Sorry. Okay. And then I think this is our last one. It says Diana wants to do something tonight, but all her friends have plans. What are they doing? Choose the correct participle to complete the sentences. So notice here, you guys, this is important because I don't want you to get them wrong, right? Because if you don't follow the format, then the computer thinks they're wrong. So you have Tim and Mac están, and then una película. If you don't know what the words are, you can look them up on the internet. That's fine. But you really don't need to. They've given you the verb. Okay. All you would have to do is choose the correct form. Okay. So it's there, VER. If you don't know how to form that irregular, because those are the one of the irregular ones, again, you have all of those resources in the module that I pointed out to you earlier, the slideshow or the visual guide. Okay. All right. Any questions about any of this, actually? Okay. So that's our task, you guys. In the time that we have left, which is roughly 12 minutes, go ahead and get organized. Go ahead and start any one of those. And I'm here to answer your questions. Okay. If you like, I can pull up the visual guide and put it behind or share the screen. Do you guys want me to do that? Does that make it easier for you? Yes? Okay. I'll pull up the visual guide and just like put it, share the screen, and then you guys don't have to have so many tabs open or whatever. Okay. But I'm here to answer any questions that you have. That was, yeah. Okay. Would that work like that, Jojo? Yes. Okay. Perfect. You guys have a question, feel free to unmute. Okay, you guys, we have about a minute left. Do you have any questions? Yes, I can check that, Brooklyn. Anybody have any questions? Let's see. Yeah, looking good, Brooklyn. Okay, so number 13, Brooklyn, is not you, but your friend. So you're saying like he. Okay, so you want to check that. Estás. Number 2 is plural, mis padres. So your estás should be plural. Okay. Okay, good job. Okay, you guys, that's our time. Any last minute quickie questions before we go? Joe, how about you? No? Okay. I've given you guys like plenty of due date time on these, but you know, again, it's always better to do them while the stuff is fresh in your mind. Okay? So reach out if you have a question, just inbox me. Adios. Nos vemos mañana. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Adios. Good job today, you guys. I appreciate you. Adios.